What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Phillips Garage. Today we have a 2001 Acura MDX, and it's got the idle surge, right? So that is IAC valve, right? So we are going to replace that. IAC is idle air control, and it's right on the throttle body. So we're just going to do it. Now, I want to do it without taking the throttle body off. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that, but I'll show you where it is. Pop in your hood. We got the cover off right here. There's your throttle, and that right there is it. Now there's two screws facing upwards. There's just not enough room to manipulate any tools down there to get a good grip on them. So we're going to go ahead and just take off the throttle body itself, which means we're going to have to disconnect pretty much everything attached to it. That way we can get it off and replace it. So we got to take off all this stuff, just get the two bolts underneath. And here is the new IAC valve, and that sits just like that underneath there. So we got two screws and a hose. First step, just went ahead and undid the electronics. Now, I didn't have to do this one. I just did it anyway because it was there. We're going to take this off right here. And then we're going to have to take the intake tube out. And let's see here. That actually might be enough to just remove that. Obviously, you got the 4 bolts. And then we could possibly flip it. So we'll see what we can do there. And with the air box out of the way, all it was 4 bolts on each side. All of them were 8mm. And then you have vacuum line. Then there was another vacuum line right here. Okay. And then you had this one that came out of it anyway. But we're going to have to remove that down here as well. And then we can go ahead and unbolt those 4. And to give you a heads up, this bottom line that we take off, that is a coolant line. So I just went ahead and clamped that so we don't lose any more. And now it looks like we are ready to go ahead and unbolt. You get 4 nuts, the throttle body. And that baby is stuck on there. So I had a tap with a rubber mallet, got it loose. And then we got 1 vacuum line to the IAC valve right there. We'll take that off once I flip this. And with the throttle body off, we now have access to the 2 Phillips head. So we'll just take that off. And then we have to clean the surface areas for our new gasket. All right, man, that's dirty in there. And ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a success. However, I had to cut a slot in this bolt, heat it up, and then get it out. I know I can't really focus on it. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. And I was able to get it out. So now I'm going to have to just find a bolt to replace that. And I'm definitely not going to use the damn Phillips head. Whoever did that needs to be kicked in the nuts. So they're going to go to hex bolts. And yeah, moving on. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll clean this. And then we'll get the new one on. This is going to be warm because I had a torch on it for a few minutes. So throw that aside. But with a series of unfortunate events, I don't have any of these here, at least not something that's long enough that I would feel comfortable with. And it was also a Phillips head. But like I said, I'm swapping these out to a hex. So it looks like in the morning, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock right now. Looks like in the morning, I'm going to make my way to the local hardware store to do that. So we can go ahead and throw this on and then throw it back together because it's not going to be much after that. And all clean, went and got some new hardware. If we could see it right there. Bam, there we go. And yes, I traded out to hex heads. They are stainless. I'm going to go ahead and put some anti-seize on them before I put them in the aluminum. But should come together fairly quick. And if you notice, I have it on the towel, reason being positive cables right underneath it. And clean those surfaces on each side. Throw your gasket on, and then go ahead and reattach it. And for the most part, you know, all this stuff has muscle memory, the hoses, so they should be pretty much where they need to be. So just go ahead and get those all up. So we're going to go ahead and attach all the coolant lines and the vac lines. All right, those 2 lines are hooked back up to the throttle body. Next, I'm going to go and throw in the air intake and then the 2 or 3 remaining vacuum hoses go right back to that guy. And with the airbox in, the trick, put the assembly in all at the same time. And so start with the airbox and then put it in and then bolt the airbox in. We got 1, let's see here, 2, and 3 hooked up. This is number 4. We just got that hooked up. Then there's that connector there. This one down there. And this one right here. There we go. Now I'm going to do a once over and, oh, yeah, see, look at that, another one. And there we go. And now, it's got an exhaust leak, so don't mind that, but now we're running, it's idling, it's going pretty good. I don't smell, hear, or see anything out of the ordinary that is wrong. So it looks like that's a success.